Hey, happy Friday! You've made it through the week. It's going to be a fantastic day, and that's just all there is to it. We're going to have the best weekend ever. I hope that you all have some amazing plans, some things to do this weekend. I think that my hubby and I are just going to work around the house. That seems to be our favorite thing to do. When you're a homeowner, you tend to do things like that. And when you get old, you really tend to just do things like that. You don't, our going out consists of maybe Menards or Home Depot, and then coming home and working, and then some Netflix and sleep at 8 o'clock, you know? It's so funny because I used to be the type of person that could stay up all night and party all night, stay up, sleep all day. Good grief, I'll get that around here somehow. But not anymore. Getting old, and I guess I am a grandma, so I am entitled to that, right? But I just, I hope that you guys are gonna do something really fun this weekend. And I want y'all to try something new. It seems to be what we lack nowadays, is going out and doing something that we're not used to doing, and you know, just trying something out of your comfort zone. Just expand in life. But today I am going to talk to you about how we are what we think. And man, is that so true. Because when you're happy and everything is going great and life is good, Janie, lay down. And everything is just falling into place. You know, we have those happy thoughts and all of that. It's almost like the world can't tear us down. But the second something bad happens, we tend to dwell on that negative. And think about that. Think about all the things that you do when you're in a negative mindset. Janie, lay down. But so yeah, we are what we think we are. And my dog, for some odd reason, decided that right now she wants to go out, even though I tried to let her out earlier. But you know, stubborn Swiss hound. But you know, I want you to think about a time in your life when you really wanted to try something. And I'm going to use diving into a pool as my example for you. I would get to the end of the diving board and I'd be going, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then I would say, oh, I can't do this. And then I would back away. And then I'd be, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and go to the end of the diving board once again. I can't do this, back away. What was happening was I was living what I was thinking. You know, when you think you can do something, you can. And when you think you can't, you're right. So we need to get over the negative thinking in life. In the things that we think about and we focus on and we surround ourselves with, that is what shapes who we are or what we will become. If you're around nothing but negativity, you will become negative. If you're around nothing but positivity, you're going to be able to deal with things with a positive mindset. And it is just the way our brains are wired. You are what you think you are. And our thoughts are actually our basis for our own reality. Now, that reality may or may not be true, but what you think is your reality. There is nothing that I can say to you to change the way that you think about yourself. You have to do that. You have to decide who you want to be by what you are going to think. And I want you to ask yourself some questions. One of them being, What do you think about yourself? Think about that. What do you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? That's a tricky one, isn't it? Or what is your attitude towards yourself? I'm not talking about your neighbor. I'm not talking about your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. But what is your attitude towards yourself? Not what you think of others, what you think of yourself. Do you respect yourself? And how about, do you value yourself? Those are some tough questions to answer. We are our own worst critics. That is true. It is absolutely true. And there are times where we need to take a step back and realize that, sometimes what the critical thinking is what can propel us forward. And do you realize that there is only one person in the whole wide world that you can never, ever, ever get away from? Yourself. You are always, always, always with yourself. With your thoughts, who you are, what's inside. I don't want you to think of the outside. I don't want you to think of any physical characteristics or lack thereof that you have or don't. I want you to think about the inside, who you are, the things that make you tick. How do you feel about yourself? The reason that you need to value yourself and love yourself, and Mitchell says you can't get away from God either. He is absolutely right. Good job, Bug. But the reason that you have to, I lost my train of thought and I got to thinking about my grandkids. See, you are what you think about, and Boog happened to be the one that I was thinking about there for a second. But really now, because you cannot get away from yourself, you have got to value yourself. You need to have positive thoughts about who you are, how you handle things, where you're going, where you've been. And in order to rise up from those difficult moments in life and really, really enjoy the days that everything is great and there's good times and all of that, you've got to take care of your mental health. Part of that is knowing your disease. My depression, my anxiety, I need to know all about it so that I can rise up in those difficult moments. I need to accept it so that I'm not so hard on myself on the days that an episode has taken me down. And I have to commit to never, ever giving up. That's taking care of your mental health. You've got to discipline yourself to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And sometimes actually taking care of yourself physically will help you emotionally. one way to get over those negative thoughts is to replace it with a positive. When I was going to jump off that diving board as a kid, and I can't do it, and stepping off the diving board and then telling myself, I can do it, and getting to the end of that diving board and I kept telling myself, I can do it, and I got rid of the negative, and I'll be darned if I didn't do a dive into the pool. Wasn't pretty, but I did it. I never would have had I kept telling myself, I keep saying myself, if I kept telling myself that I couldn't do it, I wouldn't have done it. Because your thoughts become your reality. Have you ever looked back at pictures and, you know, you see, I saw one from high school not too long ago, and I was looking at that picture and I was like, I wasn't ugly. But during high school, I told myself over and over again that I was ugly. So I felt ugly, thought I was ugly. My reality was that I was ugly. Looking back, I wonder how things would have progressed differently had I not told myself that over and over again. It's hard to do. It's hard to get away from the negative, especially if you suffer from some type of mental illness. My depression and anxiety tell me things that, oh man, if I could tell you the many times that I told myself I wasn't worth it, and I am. Love you too, very much. Or all the times that I told myself that I wasn't worth it. I shouldn't be here. I'm not smart enough. Bull. That's not true. You know, when I first decided that I was going to do this, I had told my family that this was what I was going to do. And I think I did it for some ownership in my decision. Like I had said earlier, I had thought about doing this for a really long time. And the right before I was supposed to start, the day the page was made, I had said that I was going to get on here and do a live. I got ready and I was going to check it out. I kept thinking to myself, I have nothing to offer. You know, I shouldn't do this. Then I got on the phone with my daughter, Kendra, and I had said to her, you know what, I'm just going to make a video and upload it and do it that way. She said, absolutely not. You're going to do the live like you said you were going to do. And then I had ownership. I told her that I was going to do it, so I had to do it. But the point of that is that morning, I kept saying, I can't do this. What if nobody's on? And when I told Kendra that, you know, what if nobody's on, she said, so what if they're not? Then it would be just like you recording a video and uploading it, right? Ha! Dang it, she was right. So I had to listen. And I'm glad I did. Because once I got over that hurdle and once I got off the phone with her and I said, okay, I can do this, I did it. Had I kept on with the mindset of, I can't do this, I wouldn't be here today. Your thoughts will always lead you in the direction that you're thinking. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're probably right. I don't know whoever said that quote, but it's a pretty darn smart one. So one positive thought for every negative thought. I lay in bed at night and I think about the stupid stuff I've done throughout the day. Well, I said this, or I did this, or, and obviously it's not all positive. So I have had to change that. When I lay in bed and I think, well, I kept saying me-self instead of myself. So then I have to replace it with, it was kind of funny. It was silly. It didn't change anything. Anxiety will do that to you. It'll tell you lies. You kept saying the wrong word. You're stupid. You should never do it again. Don't ever try again. No, you tell that anxiety to go take a hike and reprogram that with, but it was kind of funny. Who doesn't make mistakes? Absolutely nobody. We all do. The great thing about our thoughts is that, to some extent, we can control what our attitudes will be. You wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to have a great day today. You usually do. You wake up in the morning and say, this day is going to suck. I'll make an example out of my husband. He absolutely hates Wednesdays. He does. He hates them. It's that stupid day of the week. And on Wednesdays, he's different than he is on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Crazy, right? But he hates Wednesday. He wakes up, it's Wednesday. That attitude will take him through the entire day. So from now on, when he says, I hate Wednesday, we're going to make him replace it with, I love Wednesday. Right, honey? But you can control everything. You can control to an extent. Now, when you have depression or anxiety or stuff like that, when you're in an episode, it is hard to control the obsessive thoughts and the things that tend to take over during an episode. And that's why I say to an extent. But no matter what, episode or not, you can control how you think, which means you can control the outcome. You can control your reaction. So when you wake up in the morning, you need to say out loud, I choose to have a great day today. When you make that choice, when you choose to think better and positive and just think of the control that you have over life. One of my things one of my anxieties is I happen to sometimes believe that what everybody else does reflects on me. And my husband always tells me, that's not the case. You're not thinking big picture. You're allowing your illness to control how you see the world. And he is absolutely correct. When I'm in a spot of anxiety, I tend to do that. I tend to feel like I'm unwanted where I'm at, or I'm unloved, or it's really hard to explain, but it's my thoughts. It's not reality. We can control our reality by thinking positively. We can control whatever direction we're going into by thinking positively. For every negative thought, replace it with a positive. And I don't care if you have to do it one day at a time. If you wake up tomorrow and you have a negative thought, remind yourself to replace it. You can do that with anger. Sometimes we feel like whatever is happening around us, it makes us mad, and the person next to us is pissing us off. No, what's happening is you're not taking responsibility for your reaction, and you're allowing something else to take control of your thoughts. The negative. You're pulling the negative out of the person sitting next to you. And your reaction is coming out negatively. When somebody is pissing you off, take a step back, ignore it, and don't react. You need to control your situation by allowing yourself to control your thoughts. Throughout the day, think about ways that you can improve your feelings. Kind of weird, huh? How can you improve that? What makes you happy? So you're at the DMV, and there's a crap ton of people in there, and you know it's going to take 3 hours to get seen at the desk, and you're just think about what makes you happy. What we think is what we are. Change your thoughts. Positive. And you're right, Tom. A simple act of human kindness to another person can turn your day around. Have you ever tried to help somebody and be in a bad mood? You can't do it. You absolutely cannot do it because your heart is full because you've done something for somebody else. That is really how I try my hardest to get out of my bad days. Not my episodes, but my bad days. I try to do something for somebody else. I focus on somebody else. And you're right, Zach. If you can't control it, then why in the world are you trying to change it? You can't. The only thing that you can control is the way you react to the situation. Exactly. You can't make that line go any faster. Being in a bad mood, actually, will make it go slower. Have you ever had that happen? You know, are you stuck in traffic? You're supposed to be at work 5 minutes ago. You're stuck. Is getting angry and honking your horn going to move that traffic any further? Flipping the bird? I have road rage. I will be the first to admit that. So I'm going to tell you that this is something that I have tried to do, and I am not always quite successful at it. So if you can't control it, you can control you. And you're right, it amplifies absolutely everything. The angrier you get, the worse the situation gets. It really does. So during the day, think about what makes you happy. What goal are you reaching for? Positive. Keep it positive. The more positive you're thinking, the better your day will be. In an episode, I know it's hard, but you can change your thought process around. You can. It takes a lot of training and a lot of help, but you can do it. Living inside our minds can be an extremely dangerous place to be. However, with one thought at a time, one thought, that's all I'm asking you for. One. Replace one thought, one negative, with a positive. And with help from those that we love, we can do this. We can change our thought processes. We can make life easier. Do a random act of kindness. Try it this weekend. Try to help somebody out and see if you don't get a smile on your face. You know, my husband is a grumpy Gus sometimes, and I love watching him help somebody out. He's a firefighter too, by the way, but a retired firefighter. He could have horrible calls that he goes out on, but he can still come home okay because he was helping somebody. Do it. Random act of kindness. Maybe just a smile. Zach, see, you just have an amazing heart. And for those that don't know, Zach is my future son-in-law. And gosh, I love that kid. Absolutely love him. And just getting a simple thank you. And actually, sometimes somebody can't say thank you. It's not in their nature. But doing it feels good. And holding the door open for somebody. Super simple. But do you know that people don't do that anymore? If you're a man, open the door for your girlfriend. Simple. One more thing before I go, because my dog really needs to go outside. But the other day, I'm going to tell my husband, in my office, we have a desk that's where I'm sitting right now. And my husband had separated mail because some of our kids' mail comes here, and he has separated it, and it was actually right in my spot. And so I took it and I put it in a pile. And he came home, not yesterday, but the day before, and he's like, well, what'd you do? Or he said something to the fact of, did you make a mess out of my mail? Is basically what he had said. And it really hurt me. And, you know, I was trying not to show that it hurt, but it did. And my husband, knowing me, caught on to that look. And yesterday he came home from work and he said, I'm really sorry about saying that to you. I didn't mean it like that. That meant the world to me. That's another thing that you can do. Say sorry if you need to. Because that can make somebody's day too. He turned around I wish I could explain to you what that sorry meant. Not a big deal. I mean, it was done and it was over with, but just a simple sorry. Manners, exactly. A lot of people don't have manners. So we need to teach others to have them. Use those manners. So we are what we think. Time to replace the negative with one positive. And I know that you all can do it. I hope that you all have an amazing weekend. Stay warm. Unless you're from Florida, like a certain somebody I know on here that's probably quite warm compared to us. But enjoy that sunshine, Tom. But you have a great weekend. And I cannot wait to see you guys all on Monday. And don't you dare ever forget that your story isn't over.